What's up guys, welcome to another dose of quick film reviews. This is part 2, I done part 1 not too long ago, so let's get straight into it with the films, shall we? Overlord. So Overlord, a J.J. Abrams produced film from Bad Robot. Essentially, an American team gets sent behind enemy lines to clear things out and make way for D-Day. It's not the film I expected it to be. Judging by the trailers and everything I heard about it, I was expecting this to be a horror action movie. It's kind of is, kind of isn't that. Because the first half of the film is a very traditional war film. Then it delves into the more horror stuff really towards the end. It's pretty slow build up to that stuff, and the problem is that stuff is the most interesting thing, in my opinion. So yeah, it was disappointing in that regard. It's not a bad film by any means, it's just okay. The action's good, the cinematography's good, the film's got really good use of colours, the cast is likeable. Well, okay, the cast isn't likeable, but the characters themselves are relatable and understandable, even the ones who are being a bit of a dick. So the problem is that it's just the build-up isn't there. The trailers make it out to be like a big action-packed horror movie, and it's not that, not entirely. So it's way more of an action film in the first third, a drama film in the middle, then a horror film towards the end. And the problem with the end is it kind of falls into traditional horror tropes of, oh, he has this big evil guy, he has the good hero guy, let them fight, and yeah, it all becomes a little generic towards the end, I think. But yeah, it's an enjoyable film. It's just not the film that I expected or wanted it to be. Batman Hush. So Batman Hush, I've reviewed this for my channel, you can go check out the full review there. I like this film. I always thought Batman Hush, the graphic novel, was a little on the overrated side. I wasn't keen on that too much, but this I think makes some big significant changes that comic book fans will not like. But personally, I actually kind of like the changes here. I think it makes sense. They've streamlined the narrative, they've cut out some of the fat, trimmed things down, made it a bit more straightforward, and they've added some twists and surprises that fans of the comic book will be able to sit down and watch this movie and get these surprises because they won't see them coming because they're expecting something else. So I think that's actually quite smart. But it also fits into the DC animated movie universe, so it's following up on the likes of Batman and versus Robin and what was the last one, Reign of Superman and all that stuff. So it's good how it's both an adaptation and a sequel and its own thing. It focuses a lot on Batman and Catwoman's relationship. That was actually the most interesting part of this. The Batman and Catwoman relationship was way more interesting than the central mystery surrounding Hush. But I like this film. The animation is iffy at times. It's not high quality animation akin to most cinematic movies. This is a home video release, so it's disappointing that DC isn't really putting more money into this, more time into this, because these could be something special, way more special than what they are. And yeah, that's disappointing. But again, film was fun, I did enjoy it. Go check out my full review for more. Alita Battle Angel. So Alita Battle Angel, this is an interesting one. Again, go check out my full review on my channel if you want more, but I feel like my full review has been a little misinterpreted because I've gotten a lot of reactions from that video, not all of which were good. It seems that on my channel, for example, that video has the most thumb downs of any video I've ever done. It's the only video I've done that's actually got more thumbs downs than thumbs up. So that's interesting. And hey, if you want to give it a thumbs down, that's fine. But Alita Battle Angel is not a bad movie. I want to make that clear. I did think there were some problems, particularly when it comes to the story and the characters, but it's a fun, action-packed science fiction movie, very enjoyable, not bad at all. And I like the central character, I like the environments and locations, the CGI was mostly good, the action was very fun and enjoyable, like I said. So yeah, Alita Battle Angel, not a bad movie, just not a great one. And I think it could have been a lot better than what it was, had they just tweak some elements with the story and the characters. Con Air. So you're probably thinking, Grant, this is an old film. Yes, it is an old film, but it's the first time I've saw it, so I'm putting it in here. Con Air, Nicolas Cage is a former US Marine, I think it is, and he commits a crime, he kills someone, gets sent to prison, then I think it's like 8 years later or something. this new prison plane is set up to transport prisoners from one location to another. Of course, a really bad idea, and it's over the top, it's action packed, it's very fun, very enjoyable, very cheesy, very corny. The characters are all really interesting and unique. John Malkovich is the main villain. Steve Buscemi is a really like silent kind of Hannibal Lecter kind of character. He's really fun. Danny Trejo's in there, and Nicolas Cage is the central front action guy. The problem with this film is Nicolas Cage. He's never convincing in that role. Not once did I think, oh, this guy, he could kick someone's backside in and he could save the day. He looks the part. He doesn't. He comes across as cheesy and out of place and corny. The lines that they give him just don't work. The delivery doesn't work. And yeah, it's also they tried to give him a unique look to make him cool. The fact that he's got like the vest that makes him look like John McClane. They've gave him the stubble and they've got some weird mullet going on. But again, that doesn't make him look cool. It just makes him look weird. So yeah, the biggest problem I had with Con Air was Nicolas Cage. And that's disappointing because he's the main character. Yeah, but you've also got John Cusack in there and Colm Meaney. I like their relationship, how they were constantly battling one another. And it's interesting to see Colm Meaney in a big movie action film like this because, in my eyes, Colm Meaney is known for Star Trek, the TV shows. So yeah, I like seeing more of him. But the weird thing about their characters is they're very much seen as like doctors and much more like desk-based agents, and then all of a sudden by the end of the film they're flying helicopters and trying to shoot down a plane. It's really weird. But yeah, a bonkers, ridiculous action movie, over the top, but hey, I enjoyed it. Johnny English Strikes Again. This is the third Johnny English movie. Yeah, I can't believe there's actually 3 of these films. The first one was just alright, second one wasn't very good. This one I think is a bit better than the second one. It brings back Ben Miller as Boff. Their relationship between Rowan Atkinson and Ben Miller was great in the first film, so the fact that that was missing in the second one really let that one down. This one, it's basically doing the same thing that the first 2 films done. It's a spoof of James Bond. Right, everything about James Bond is like, yeah, you're just doing James Bond, but you're making it funny, you're making it comedic. Some of the jokes work, some of the jokes really don't. Some of them are cheesy, some of them are predictable, some of them just aren't original at all. Some of them are really old-fashioned, but it knows what it wants to be, it knows what it's trying to be, and it succeeds at that. So if you're looking for a spy spoof film, this one's not too bad. It's just not doing anything all that unique or interesting. And I'd be interested to see if we get a 4th one. Yeah, it's weird how we're getting 3 of these though. Shazam. So Shazam, full review on my channel, yet again, go check that out. Shazam is a good film, one of the best DC Universe movies, live action DC Universe movies. I'm still debating whether or not I think it's as good as or better than Wonder Woman. I don't think it is, but Shazam, I love the main character of Shazam, both the, what's it called, Billy Batson and the Zachary Levi version. Zachary Levi is perfect for this role. He was born to play this role. He's really bulked up and got some muscle. He's really jacked now, and everyone in this film, mainly Zachary Levi though, but everyone just seems to be having a hell of a lot of fun. And there's a lot of good comedy in here, a lot of good drama in here. The biggest disappointment is the villain. The villain, they do a good job at the beginning of establishing his origins and what motivates him and why he's become a villain. But then all of a sudden, about halfway through the film, when the actual plot of the film gets going, he's just bad for the sake of being bad, it seems. And yeah, there's not much to him beyond that very initial origin scene. So that's disappointing. Then the ending I think is good. It does kind of fall into typical superhero fare of here's a good superhero, here's the bad version of that superhero, let them fight, and that's kind of what happens. There is a little bit of a twist here, and I hope that the sequel doesn't delve into that element too much, because that kind of runs the risk of ruining what makes Shazam so special, which is Shazam himself. So yeah, I don't want to get into spoilers. But Shazam, a good film, a good, enjoyable, fun DC movie, and one of the best DC movies. Hopefully they continue to make movies like this, if not better. Final film I'm going to talk about is Us, Jordan Peele's latest film, his next film from Get Out. Of course not related to Get Out in any way, shape or form. This is a weird film. Yeah, It's a horror, but it's also a thriller. Problem is, it's not that scary. In fact, it's not scary at all. The first hour is really slow. It doesn't explain itself very well. It seems to be just about like a family who's dealing with like traumatic past, and it takes about an hour before anything actually happens. So yeah, you've got to stick with it. Luckily, the characters are likable, they're relatable, they're interesting. Otherwise, I probably would have turned it off maybe. So Lupita Nyong'o is the main character. She's the one who's dealing with something that happened as a child. I'm not going to say what happened exactly because that's kind of getting into spoilers, although it is the first scene in the film. But then, about halfway through, the film changes pace, it changes tone. That's when the more horrific things happened. Up to that point, it's all about build-up, it's all about suspense, and it does a good job of making things a little on edge and a little creepy. And then at that point, it becomes much more of a thriller action movie even. A bit more like, say, Halloween or Friday the 13th. And that's not a bad thing exactly. But the first half of the film and the second half of the film feel like different films almost. And then it tries to explain things towards the end, the final third of the film, let's say, and the explanation just isn't very good. It reminds me a lot of like The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. There was an old film with Donald Sutherland, and yeah, the actual explanation, the actual wrap-up, I thought was a bit underwhelming, a little disappointing, and it doesn't do a good job of explaining what's going on, how it's happening or anything, and it dives way more into science fiction than I would have wanted it to. But hey, it's a fun, well, it's not fun, it's a decent film. I do kind of recommend it. There is a good central mystery in there, and the build-up, while slow, is good, and then when actually things start hitting the fan and things happening, that the second third of the film is really enjoyable. The build-up is slow, the second third really good and fun, the final third not bad, just the actual story and explanation things I didn't think were that good. But hey, Get Out was a brilliant film, so go check that out as well. And that's all I'm going to review for today. So thanks for watching so far. If you've liked it, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I prefer a thumbs up, but hey, do what you want. Leave a comment and feedback down below, and subscribe to my channel. That's the most important thing. Please subscribe. The more subscribers I get, the more content I can make, the better content I can make. And we all love that content. So you can also go to Twitter and Instagram and follow me at _GrantBurton if you want, or twitch.tv/the_GrantBurton if you want to see me play some video games. And until next time, that's all I've got for now. So thanks for watching.